So much to say and so little time. This is the reason, boss. I've been away for a wee while. I had my delightful in laws from Jamaica. Sweet jam down over. Mr. and Mrs. C, love you. Love you like cooked food and freshly squeezed juice. As I speak in love. I wish you a lovely time. A safe flight has been had, and you are in Jamaica now. We love you. The reason boss loves you, and it's full respect. Football and fireworks are set to go off. It is Premier Week action. Arsenal, the Gunners, come on, you Gunners, top of the table. They're going to be doing battle with Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. That's going to be a mother of all tussles. I am playing the Fantasy Football League, and I've got Gabriel Martinelli, Martin Odegaard, and Gabriel in defence. I believe both Arsenal and my Fantasy Football League teams will do very well come the end of the weekend. Let us look out for some fixtures this week. The world of sport is full of entertainment. We've got the Women's Rugby Union World Cup. It's going to be a mighty clash between the Black Ferns of New Zealand and England, the English Roses. It's going to be a tough one for the Black Ferns. It's down under in New Zealand, and the tussle will be well fought, no doubt. I'm back in the Black Ferns. I'm supporting the Black Ferns, but they've got all the work to do if they're going to overcome England, who have been a standout team in the tournament in New Zealand. Meanwhile, in Australia, we've got the T20 World Cup. West Indies missing in action, couldn't even make it to the final big party. England fighting for survival against the likes of Sri Lanka to book their place in the semi-finals, already through New Zealand, who I tip to be the favourites to lift the tournament. It's been an interesting one. But what is really interesting for you Jamaican fans out there, Jamaican football fans, the word on the street is a certain Dujon Whisper Richards, namesake indeed. He's been pulling up trees in schoolboys football. A prodigious talent, quality talent among his peers. I would simply say, from the Reason Boss's perspective, cast your mind back as we approach Qatar 2022 World Cup for senior men's football team. I repeat, the senior men's football team. Cast your mind back to European Championships 2020. Anyone heard of a certain Pedro? Pedro, teenager, Spanish midfield player, arguably the best Spanish player on show, and without question, one of the best players on show during European Championships 2020. A teenager plying his trade professional levels against the very best that Europe had to offer and stood tall with them. You see, Reason Boss is coming from decades of watching football where I've seen class show itself in no uncertain terms. I wasn't alive. I wasn't alive in 1958 when the world was introduced to Pele in Sweden, a precocious 17-year-old plying his trade against the very best the world had to offer. My words would be simply, if you're good enough, you're old enough. Wayne Rooney, as a Gunners fan, I well remember. My lord, he came on board and sorted out Arsenal, good and proper. My lord, it was outrageous. If you're good enough, you're old enough. He introduced himself. And I'd say, for Whisper, I look forward to you going toe-to-toe with the professional ranks in Jamaica and then making your statement going forward. Richpo Sports has got so much to say. Qatar is coming up. By the way, when it comes to Qatar and the World Cup, let's stop the hypocrisy. All this talk about banning and not turning up, I'm not for that. But that's another time. I'm out of here. Peace and love. Peace and love. Richpo Sports back in down once again. All the very best, one and all.